Hi, everybody. Welcome to Halftime Live on Brews Sports. We welcome you inside the studio on a Tuesday edition. We hope your Tuesday is going well. We know that the sports world continues to drive people mad. Some might even say that's even driving them to be an alcoholic. But, oh, wait, Tanner does that on a daily basis. Anyway, so we're not really reading too much into that, in all honesty. I mean, we both have a nice, cool, refreshing brew because this is what you do in Wisconsin, Tanner, when it's negative 50 degrees out.
And 11 o'clock in the morning.
And 11 o'clock in the morning. You drink, you talk about sports. And
I'm drinking a Coke.
You love life.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Looks like. I know it's what it's not, but it's what it looks like.
Yeah, no, I'm drinking a Carbon 4 oh gosh, what is it? It's their IPA, but essentially it has a cat with holding a pistol with a bandana.
Oh, sure.
Riding a unicorn that is breathing fire while they're jumping over a rainbow.
I've seen that.
It's amazing. Oh, it's Carbon 4 Fantasy Factory. It's amazing. It's the coolest label in the entire world. It's a pretty good beer. So.
Well, it sounds like it. Well, hopefully our show can be just a sliver of exciting as that bottle is, basically.
I don't know if we'll have a kitten holding a pistol riding a unicorn jumping over a rainbow.
You never really do. Really, anything is possible.
Anything's possible here on Brews Sports.
Dreams can be made from alcohol and all different kinds of sporty.
Do we?
I hope so. I think so, because I was just about to tell people to comment and share, so hopefully it's a good show. If you like what you see, comment, share, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your enemies, because everybody loves sports. Doesn't matter who they are, honestly. And, of course, give us your opinions in the comments section below.
I love sports.
I do, too. That's why I'm here, obviously.
You
have to have a certain level of sportsness that you enjoy to want to be a part of what we're doing,
I don't love good sports teams, but I love sports.
Everybody has a thing that they have a crutch on.
I just like rooting for the underdog.
You don't like good sports teams? I do.
Listen,
everybody's different.
I like rooting for the underdog.
That's all. That's completely fine.
And if that happens to be some bad teams,
I don't fault you for that one bit.
Fine.
That's fine. No worries about that at all.
Okay.
All right, Tanner, we need to, actually, before we can do anything sports related, we need to show a video that you have just been absolutely dying about.
Oh, are we going to show it?
We can show it. I've got it ready to go.
Oh, yay.
You tell us about the video, and I'll throw her up here.
So it's great because every time I open up a Facebook tab on my computer, it's the first thing that pops up, and I always forget about it. Because it's easily forgettable, but it's such a funny video. It's such a funny video, but it really does speak for itself. Let's just play this here really quick. Some of you may have seen this. Little girl just trying to go inside. Oh, mom forgot her groceries. Oh gosh. Oh boy. Oh boy. Wait, can we pull that back up for 1 second?
See it one more time here?
Yeah, let's see that one more time. Look closely at what the girl is holding. This is how you know the next generation is already way ahead of us from a technology standpoint. Just watch what she does there with that phone. Whoa!
That's a good. I feel like I've already heard official reports from Adam Scheffner that the Browns have signed this little girl, this 4-year-old girl, to a 10-year, $100 billion deal because she can actually hold on to the football, unlike so many other people on their team.
It's amazing because that door gets blown open. I don't know if they have like one of those like hurricane fans.
This was during, I think, when the Midwest, like if you remember last week, was just getting destroyed by crazy winds.
Yeah,
I think it was something to do with that actually.
But she holds on to the phone. Like that's amazing to me.
She maintains possession.
Like when I was a kid, I was like, screw whatever's in my hand as long as I'm not going to hit the ground.
As long as she completed the catch. She made a football move.
She did. She made a football move.
She maintained possession.
Not only does she hang out at the door that just whips her around, which is amazing, but she holds onto the phone because she knows that if she drops that phone, she ain't going to be doing no Twitter.
She ain't nothing but a hound dog.
She ain't nothing but a hound dog. So I commend that. That's we're blowing into the day today.
We really are. Today's show is going to be a breeze.
I have a feeling I'll probably bring that video up for comic relief from time to time.
Probably.
It might be.
It's a good little reminder. Like, you know what? I'm having a bad day. Like, work's not going that great. I'm going to pull up this video and be like, oh, look at that girl. Like, you're just the cutest. Come on.
Maybe what we need to do is every time somebody says something that either is ridiculous and they need to take it back, or they just blow somebody away with a hot take. Maybe we just need to pull
that in
as a hot tab. But yeah, so she is signed by the Browns.
10 years, $100 million.
Yes.
Biggest contract ever.
Jeff says Eddie Lacy would have broken the door.
I agree. It would have just been like, oh my gosh. The whole house just probably gets pulled off basically at that point. Too funny.
Celebrate Green Bay says we need her in Green Bay for Rodgers.
Yeah. I feel like the Packers are fine. Calm down, Packer fans. Life is just fine.
Yes.
I don't think you need to worry
like
too much about that, really.
Yeah.
It is. You never know what you're going to get with Jordy Nelson's ACL.
What do we have planned for today?
Well, today is Transformation Tuesday.
It is.
So
it is.
Some good things to keep in mind, of course, as we look around the sports world. I have a couple of things I want to talk about.
Really?
You have a couple of things you want to talk about.
Yes.
It wouldn't be a show, Tan, if we didn't talk about
Things?
Well, things and stuff, of course. But the most important thing this time of the year is Tim Tebow.
Oh, yes.
Timmy T.
Lunch? No? Oh, okay.
What is for lunch? No, that's not till Thursday.
No.
Tanner doesn't eat the entire week until Thursday.
Until Thursday.
Then he finally can do that.
Well, my favorite segment, What's for Lunch, is on Thursdays. But yes, so it's Transformation Tuesday. So do you want to talk about Tim Tebow?
I do.
He had a big day.
He had a big day yesterday. Got his first official major league hit. Fans
silenced the critics.
No, he silenced the critics, but he electrified the crowds. This is spring training baseball. People were cheering like this was Game 7. Tebow just drove in the tying run, and the Mets are an out away from the pennant, basically. Like that's really what I got the vibe from with the way that people were losing their minds in the social media coverage.
So he got his first hit.
He did. He's now 1 for 9.
Tim Tebow made contact with the ball and
he
made it in play.
He hit a ground ball between third and shortstop, and people lost their minds. Got on base. Like good for him. Like I couldn't do it. I couldn't be a Major League Baseball player. I don't have the hand-eye coordination. I've got good hand-eye coordination. But I can't hit a 90-mile-an-hour ball. I just be swinging and be like, where's the ball?
Transformation Tuesday.
Yes.
Tim Tebow is transforming from a mediocre NFL player, above average college football player, to a baseball player.
He is. Well, we thought the transformation originally was going to be Tim Tebow, the college football player, to the NFL player, to the SEC network.
Yes.
That's
which
what
it was
thought.
for a second. Then he's like, wait.
But he's like, I can make more money? What?
I don't blame him. But he made contact yesterday.
He did.
I think
made
it was yesterday. It was the day
contact.
before.
People are signing him. People are freaking out.
I need to know this,
I get it.
I need to know this.
Yes. Special thanks to Tom, who said he just filled out his Brew Sports bracket. Appreciate that, Tom.
You can find our Brew Sports bracket on our Facebook page. It's free to sign up.
Yes.
And you can win $100.
It's true.
Or a beautiful T-shirt.
Or both.
Or both?
Or a date with Tanner. I was trying to have a date with Jamie this morning, and he wasn't.
A lucky 15th gets a date with me.
Yes, 15th place.
They're allowed to take me
Tanner
to a fine restaurant
that you have
and
to
never
pay
call
for.
me again.
Yep, exactly.
So
a couple of people, Jeff says, did he get a cupcake for his hit? No, I don't think he did, unfortunately.
For those of you who do not know, or that do not know, Dante Hightower received a cupcake from the New York Jets for his birthday, along with putting Happy Birthday Dante on all of the TVs in the Jets locker room, which is totally ridiculous, mind you.
Dante. If I wanted Dante Howard to the Packers, I'd probably woo and dine him and do everything I could to make him feel special, even if I knew my franchise was dead and gone.
Someone came on the last show on the Pick Six and said, when we were talking about this, they said the New York Jets is like Florida. It's where all the players go to retire or all the old players go to retire and make a lot of money.
Well, I mean, Florida is known as the doormat to heaven, basically, or the waiting room to heaven, and it's true. A lot of old people
you're from Florida?
Well, I mean, it's the doormat to heaven in a lot of ways, where it's beautiful in the sense of like, oh my gosh, this is probably what heaven looks like. But it is also the fact of like, well, Granny's 87 years old and she's going to be headed there pretty soon. Let's go ship her off to Florida so that way she can, die from heat stroke or from an alligator eating her instead of getting buried in a blizzard like you and I have going on.
Aaron makes a good point here to go back to Transformation Tuesday about Tim Tebow. Is Tim Tebow making more money from AAA baseball? And that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
It is a good point. I don't think he is, actually.
AAA
if you're working for
baseball.
ESPN on the SEC network, I'd like to think that you're going to probably be making a couple $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was contract work or what exactly the deal was. And
there might have been
we don't have an official
bonus.
confirmation on that.
There might have been a signing bonus. I'd have to look into it. But there might have been a signing bonus with the Mets for Tim Tebow.
Sure.
But AAA baseball players don't make a lot of money. Minor league baseball players
normally
don't make a lot of
not.
money.
No, that's why you don't hear too many people being like, "Oh my gosh, like gotta play minor league baseball so I can
Yeah.
provide for my family. Like, you have to be really, really good to be a minor league baseball player and make a lot of money. It just doesn't happen. That's why you go to the major league.
Usually it's major league players who have got brought back down to the minors. Who
Exactly.
Are
Those are the guys
contract.
that have the cash.
Yeah, so I don't think Tim Tebow's making a lot of money, but he is considering the fact that he may be brought up to play with the Mets someday.
Well,
so.
he's considering it, but I don't think the Mets are considering.
No,
They're just
it's
like,
not
keep
gonna
drinking,
happen.
Tim. It's not happening.
It's not gonna happen.
What's our next transformation today?
Okay, so Transformation Tuesday, Tim Tebow to a minor league baseball player, whatever.
Yep.
DeMarcus Ware retires at 34.
A little surprised.
Transformation from dominant NFL player to possible Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I think he's a Hall of Famer. He's won a Super Bowl.
Okay, so just winning a Super Bowl warrants
I think
you
if
to
you're
be
a
in the Hall of
consistent,
Fame?
I think if you're a consistent player, you make a good impact on your team, and you win a Super Bowl. I think that makes that you should be a Super Bowl.
This guy, I don't know.
Or you have really good stats.
He does have really good stats.
Dan Marino.
He does have really.
Looking at you, bro.
He does have really good stats. I would say he is a Hall of Famer. But I don't think he's. I mean, it's tough to say that anybody is a guaranteed first ballot Hall of Famer because Terrell Owens. Terrell Owens has his own reasons for not being in the Hall of Fame.
Terrell Owens is a hot cake that people need to just calm down about, honestly. In my personal
big deal.
opinion.
He's not a first ballot. Big deal.
Yeah, he's not a first
he's
ballot.
He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. Who cares?
Exactly. It's not the end of the world.
Okay, so it's safe to say this is a transformation for DeMarcus Ware to the Hall of Fame.
It is, yes. I would like to go on the record to say that. Corey disagrees with me on Facebook. I think Corey's wrong. I should stick to, covering
I don't know if you know
different teams that actually he follows, because DeMarcus Ware, I think, is, in my opinion, and I think hardly anybody else would disagree with me on this.
I don't know if you know this, but Corey's actually my biggest fan.
Corey's actually your biggest fan.
Yeah.
So Corey personally comes on the show to comment just to fire me up and just to support you.
He came out and...
Hashtag Team Tanner. I get it. People need to do what they think is best.
He hung out with me on my birthday.
That's all that matters.
That's how you know.
See? He didn't hang out with me?
Only my best fans do.
I get that. Chuck makes a couple of good points here on Facebook. Continue, obviously, if you guys are watching as well, comment and share the show below, too. That way your friends and family and all those other good people can see it. Trevor apparently, I'll get to Chuck in just a minute because we got some breaking news here.
This
supposedly.
Is breaking news is in the last 32 seconds.
Supposedly, I haven't officially seen this.
This is why Trevor watches.
Trevor is saying that Eddie Lacy is officially signed with the Seattle Seahawks.
We can talk about that.
I'll get some confirmation on that for sure, but I'd like to think that it was Trevor's a nice enough guy that I don't think he would lie to us about that.
First reported by the Santa Claus of the NFL, Adam Schefter.
It's true. I totally get that. Here we go. Where is it? Chuck was basically going on the record. I don't have his comment in front of me now, but Chuck was going on record to say that the minor league baseball systems have a lot of high-quality, great players that can still be watched, regardless of the fact that they're big names or not. I get that. I do.
Yeah, I guess.
Jeff also says Jerry Kramer has multiple Super Bowl rings and isn't in the Hall. Hashtag warm beer.
Tom says, do the Packers have any players left?
Aaron Rodgers and Mason Crosby. All you need. And 2 tight ends. All you need is that, basically. Nothing else. Nowhere. No more. That's all you need.
I want to talk about this real quick for a second before we get to our last Transformation Tuesday. Chuck says, seeing who got into the Hall of Fame this year, where we'll get in. Now, that brings up a good point. How big of a deal is it for players to be in the Hall of Fame anymore? Because to be honest, when the selection comes around every year, I'm like, I don't care. I don't know half these players. I don't care. And
I agree with you.
At a certain point, when a guy is getting nominated 6, 7 times and then he gets in, is it really even a big deal for them to get in? Like, are they a true Hall of Famer? At what point, when we keep letting these people is it does it demean the fact of being in the Hall of Fame? It
does, yeah. I mean, I feel like, honestly, at this point, if Jerry Kramer finally gets in the Hall of Fame, among others, as Packer fans, we know who Jerry Kramer is. And if he finally ever gets in the Hall of Fame, people, I feel like, are just going to be like, well, okay, great. Like, it doesn't mean as much. Jerry's been trying to get in the Hall of Fame for decades.
When Peyton Manning goes in the Hall of Fame, it's going to mean a lot. When Tom Brady goes in the Hall of Fame, those are true Hall of Famers.
Yes.
Andre Reed, who was a Bills wide receiver in the early 90s, Jim Kelly, lost 4 straight Super Bowls.
There it is.
Yeah, so he was on the ballot multiple years in a row, and it was like a struggle to get him in there. And it's like, well, no one's going to – I mean, people might know who he is, but at the same time, is he a true Hall of Famer? Like,
it depends on the impact that he had for his team. If people think that he had a consistent, solid impact in the NFL while he is on a team or on his teams, I think that person is warranted a shot at the Hall of Fame.
I think the Hall of Fame should be an undoubtable thing. Like, you're either in or you're not.
Yes.
I think it should always be that way. When I think of people who are Hall of Famers, I think of people who changed the game. So, like Wayne Gretzky,
Andre
Hall
Reed,
of
I
Famer
feel like changed
for the
the
NHL.
game.
Andre Reed, yeah. Well, I'm just saying.
But you're saying like the game as a whole, not just
there are
a
so many
game.
people that come up on the ballots every year, and it's like, his stats, though, at the time of the game, I don't know. I don't think it should be even a question. I think it should be at least, going into it, you should say 90% sure this guy needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
Sure.
It's not let's wait 5 years. It's just not a good class this year. Like, how is that a thing? Like, it's just not a good class of Hall of Famers. Let's put him in this year. It's
because of the stipulation and the rules of when players retire and all the other different things that go into it. I get that. I mean, there's the Hall of Fame getting in as a whole is a cheeky, weird process. I get that, and sometimes I don't fully understand it either. But sometimes you can't not have a Hall of Fame every single year. I mean, the NFL has kind of shot themselves in the foot to an extent in that regards. But
I understand that.
We need to talk about Eddie Lacy because that's all people are commenting about. David
Yes,
Bobke,
let's move on to that.
Aaron, Chuck,
we'll move on
everybody.
to Transformation Tuesday. Let's talk about Eddie Lacy.
Lacy, 1 year, $5.5 million deal. $3 are guaranteed, apparently. No, I'm assuming it means $3 million is guaranteed.
$3 guaranteed and a Big Mac from their local McDonald's.
David says, though, no word on whether or not they'll have a TGIFs on the premises or not. He would have had that in Minnesota. However, he opted for Seattle. You know why you chose Seattle, Tanner, don't you?
No.
Because he likes Starbucks. And Starbucks is in Seattle. I'm sure that's not the reason, but he probably likes the seafood and everything else that's up there. So Eddie Lacy to the Seahawks.
Eddie Lacy to the Seahawks.
The one question everybody in the world always asks, are they a Super Bowl contender now?
No.
Okay, good.
I think
they're not.
You know what? I'd put them up there, but I don't think they're a contender.
I agree.
They're definitely
they're not,
definitely
that's
they're
the
definitely
thing.
in the top.
They're really
league.
not, because yes, Seattle is going to continuously be a good team. I don't doubt what Seattle has done to this point, of course. But at the same regards, they're not. You got Eddie Lacy. That's great. As Packer fans, we know that as the fact of that you might get a guy that might play 3 games this year, or you might get a guy that might actually rush for 1,200 yards like he did his rookie year. Like, you don't know what you're going to get. So if Seattle fans are rejoicing, I feel like you might want to just be a little relaxed there for a little bit, because nobody really knows what exactly you're going to get.
Now, I was thinking about this last night. So Eddie Lacy to Seattle. It's scary because it takes Adrian Peterson off of Seattle's watch list.
Yes,
but I was thinking about this last night. What are you getting in Eddie Lacy? Is he in shape?
You're getting
You're
getting a young player.
Is that what you're going to call it? You're going to call him a young? I mean, because I feel like we've seen what he can offer, though, and he his weight has fluctuated over the last couple of years. He's not their starter. Do you think overall?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Let me think about. Let me state this though.
You and James talked about this though, and you talked about it with Greg as well too. It's not so much a one and done sort of running back system nowadays. Everybody is a committee now. So it's going to be Eddie Lacy likely as number 1, Thomas Rawls number 2, because why sign a guy like Eddie Lacy if you're not going to give him consistent playing time? If you're not going to give him 10 to 15 carries a game, why'd you bother signing him?
And Rawls was a backup initially anyways.
Well, Rawls is a great player. He had so many different spurts last year of greatness.
There are 2 different players, which I think is why this works well in Seattle. I do want your opinion on this, though. If we could train Eddie Lacy to block, could you use him as a fullback from time to time?
You could, except I think Seattle has, I don't remember his name, but Seattle has a really good fullback.
Reese.
Yeah, they've got already a good fullback. And you need guys. Lacy, yes, Lacy could learn to block more.
He's a big dude.
He is, of course. I mean, so is Ben Roethlisberger. You don't see people trying to make him to go play tight end because he's a stocky guy. Yeah. I mean, Gronkowski, those guys could swap places, I guess, if you really wanted to.
Someone brought up a play last night that I was talking to. We were talking about Eddie Lacy, and he said, I don't remember the play, but he mentioned, it's funny because it tells you about who Eddie Lacy is as a player, what you're getting as a player.
Sure.
Eddie Lacy somehow gets open down in open field, and there's a defensive back like 35 yards away. And he gets the ball, and he's by far like just totally open and away from this defensive back. and the defensive back chases him down and gets him down at like the 5-yard line.
Well, I
with
think
40,
that
with 40 yards
was
between
that the
them.
Arizona game or something? I think that happened to Lacey where he broke free. I forget when it was, but he broke free, and he literally like the same situation got caught on somebody coming like across the field basically, and they were able to get him and tackle him at like the 3-yard line.
That's what you want in a running back?
No, I don't want that.
Okay.
Would you want that on the Bills?
I can't say if this is true or not, but I saw it somewhere at one point. I think it's so funny. Apparently, Eddie Lacy, when he was in college, would leave an hour early for class every single day just to go get McDonald's breakfast.
An hour early. So people were like, wow, you're really committed, Eddie. You want to go to class on time.
No, he's like, no, I just want to make sure I got
hash brown
I had to make sure I got my McGriddle today.
So dumb. It's definitely an incentive-laden deal.
It explains a lot.
It does, and I think it's going to be. We'll see. It's a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
I'm sure that they probably had conversations that said, all right, Eddie, listen, if you do this,
lose 20 pounds,
and you do this,
break the single-season rushing yard record for
as well as this,
don't die.
You will then get a 4, 5, 6-year deal worth X
$100 million.
amount. Yeah, there you go. Sort of a thing. Like we'll make you higher paid than Le'Veon Bell or guys that actually deserve the money that they get on the field. It's not going to happen. Now, we could all eat our words because Eddie Lacy in college was arguably one of the best in the last decade to be a college running back.
Aaron says he may not be able to use Lacy as a fullback, but maybe a full stomach.
Oh, yeah. And Trevor also says Eddie Lacy loves mozzarella sticks more than Prince Fielder. You're not wrong. You're truly not wrong about
mozzarella sticks.
I love a good.
I also love McDonald's breakfast. We're not leaving an hour early to get to this show just to get McDonald's breakfast.
I only will have mozzarella. I only will have hash browns from McDonald's. Can't do anything else.
Oh
Chuck asked a great question. All the Packer fans right now are wondering as well, too. He says, now who will be the running back for Green Bay? Ty Cobb? Who? Not Ty Cobb, the baseball player, but Ty Montgomery or Randall Cobb? Well,
Randall Cobb is a running back?
If you remember Randall Cobb, this is kind of how the Ty Montgomery situation happened, is that they would have Randall Cobb out of the shotgun at times, with Rodgers, and they'd just hand the ball off directly to him and let him go, basically. And they started to do that with Ty, and they're like, oh my gosh, Ty can actually be a running back because he's massive for a wide receiver. Maybe we can hand him the ball off a little bit more normal.
Yes.
You're almost adapting like a Big 12 run and gun style of play if you try to go with like 2 running backs that are actually receivers but are actually running backs but actually can catch the ball but can run the ball and throw the ball. Like you're just getting all over the place if you're Green Bay. Do you just not care anymore if you're a Packer fan?
Well, James Starks is gone. The elusively impressive. When I say elusively impressive,
Who is he impressive
I mean his impressiveness somehow found a way to be elusive away from his talent on the field. He did not have any talent.
He was so good. He just was so talented that his talent never caught up to him.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
I don't understand that.
Yes, James Starks is gone. What is going to happen in Green Bay? Does Green Bay try harder now, knowing that Eddie Lacy is gone, to go get a guy like
they
AP
should.
or Jamal Charles?
They should. Will they? I don't think so. I mean, you heard Greg today, Greg Schwartz earlier on Pick 6, Latavius Murray. Ted Thompson, though. But that's the thing. As soon as a tragedy happens, how often does Ted swoop back in fast? We lost Jared Cook.
Never.
And all of a sudden, Packer fans are like, well, screw this. And then it was like,
sign 3 tight ends.
Bang, Martellus Bennett, bang, Lance Kendricks. Like, sure, that's great. Did it fill a hole? Martellus Bennett would have been enough for me.
Ted Thompson's sitting there.
Even Lance Kendricks would have been fine for me.
Ted Thompson sits there and manages an organization much like I manage my fantasy football team.
Which is like how?
I have guys like Victor Cruz or some other like second or third string players on my bench, and I'm like, they're of value though. They're of value, so I can't let them go. Maybe I can make a deal.
These guys might actually be a thing.
And for the longest time, they don't, and then I cut them.
Yes.
And it's it's hard for me to do it.
Yeah.
So Ted Thompson makes deals much like I manage my fantasy football roster. I'm afraid to do anything because I'm afraid to be wrong.
Aaron on Facebook asks, he says, does this mean that AP is headed to Green Bay? I would like to say yes, but I don't know.
I'd even like to see Jamal Charles in Green Bay.
Jamal Charles is too injury-ridden for me personally. I'd be like,
it's worth a shot. Sign him to a 1-year deal. They're doing it with Eddie Lacy in Seattle.
And you could do a Jamal Charles.
Eddie Lacy's much younger, but still.
Montgomery is split. And I think you still re-sign Christian Michael, and you still draft a running back as well.
You have to, yeah.
I think if you've got a shot, maybe in the first round, why not go after Christian McCaffrey?
Yeah.
Why not go after, Leonard Fournette or Dalvin Cook? If those guys are still hanging around at the tail end of the first round, why not spend a high draft pick on a running back with a lot of upside that could potentially help, split some of the load? Because Ty Montgomery is going to be a running back next year. We get that.
Is he also going to line up at receiver, though?
He's keeping his number. He's keeping 88.
So he's also going to line up at receiver?
That's what I would assume. If you've got that sort of a thing going
I'm just
for you, why
researching
not?
for my fantasy league.
Yeah, you're welcome. Chuck also says he doesn't know about what Aaron is saying in terms of him heading to Green Bay. At this point, though, he might need to. I mean, you might... I don't know. Jeff thinks the Packers should draft a lot of running backs. I, as a Packer fan and a Packer supporter, I kind of gave up after a while once we had like 11 of our top free agents just basically walk away, and the Packers were just kind of like, we'll see what happens. Sorry, not to continue.
No, you're good.
With you. Adam Scheffner reporting a minute ago saying the Raiders, Latavius Murray is visiting the Vikings today, and Jamal Charles is visiting Seattle on Wednesday.
So Jamal Charles and Eddie Lacy?
Why not?
Wow. I have a question.
And Thomas Rawls. If I'm the Packers, I would trade for Thomas Rawls.
I know we just had... excuse me. We just had Greg on my NFL show.
Yes.
Excuse me, on the Pick Six before the show. Would it be possible to try and get Greg on to talk about this Eddie Lacy move and possibly these other Jamal Charles and?
That is a possibility. We can certainly try.
I know you're doing a lot from where I don't do anything. I can't really do much unless I was
going to say you're asking me to juggle and shake, rattle, and roll.
We don't have to. I just think it'd be fun. Hey, maybe Greg, if Greg's watching, maybe he can just call you via Hangouts.
Give us a shot there. That'd be great.
But yeah, that'd be awesome. I'll see if I can just have him call you on Hangouts, and maybe we can have him on.
Hit him up,
which would be great because we literally just talked about this an hour and a half ago, and all these players were all our radar.
Yeah, they were.
So it would be great to have Greg on to talk about this.
You keep talking. I'm going to see if I can get a hold of Greg here real quick.
Oh, you're going to get a hold of Greg. Okay, I'll keep
do
talking.
What I can. You keep talking.
All right, for the moment, before we get back into the breaking news in the NFL, which is Eddie Lacy going to Seattle. There are a couple other players visiting other teams around the NFL. I want to talk about the NCAA.
Okay, in what regards?
So the NCAA apparently... March Madness is a big time of year. A lot of people send in their brackets, even people who do not care about sports get in on the action.
Woo, sports!
My dad runs a big March Madness tournament every year with a bunch of crazy rules and stuff, and it's a lot of fun. And it gets up to we have 70 to 80 people.
Fantastic.
Every year there's 15 more people, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I've never won, but it's still fun.
It's not rigged then. That's a good sign.
I have seen that apparently the NCAA betting is totaling over $10 billion. That's 1 month of sports gambling. $10 billion. $10 billion.
Why? Why so much money?
That's a B. That's a lot of zeros.
Yeah, not a B.
Now, the Super Bowl doesn't even get that much.
No, it doesn't.
This could potentially place an argument.
People are so obsessed with this, though. That's why.
This could potentially place an argument for it being the biggest sporting event, at least in the country. I mean, this has to be $10 billion just in the United States, with some maybe 2% coming from other countries. That's incredible.
I think it's ridiculous because the fact that money, people complain all the time about, there's no money in college athletics. There's no money here. People are gambling just by putting,
$10 billion.
I feel like some of that money should go to the NCAA. You're
to
using
the players?
them. You're using them.
To the
players, the athletic department,
that's
something.
A whole other that's a whole other debate, which we should get at some point. But
agreed.
Let me just read the definition here. Sports betting is the activity of predicting sports results and placing a wager on the outcome. Sports bettors, because there's a lot of talk about whether or not some of these sports betting is legal or not. Sports bettors place their wagers either legally through a bookmaker or sports book, or illegally through a privately run enterprise referred to as a bookie. Now, I'm not calling certain bracket, what would I call them, commissioners. I wouldn't call March Madness bracket runners bookies.
I mean, we have $1,000 buy-in for the Bruce Sports Network.
It is.
We don't. It's free.
It's free.
Sign up today.
It is technically a privately run enterprise. So is this $10 billion? Is that all illegally gambled money?
Sounds like it.
It's insane.
Yeah. But think about it.
But everybody's okay with it.
How many people don't even think about it, though? Even to to throw the moral card in there. If you've got 10 guys from church, 10 guys from your local church, like, hey guys, we're doing a bracket, $10 each. First place gets this much money. Second place gets this much money. Whatever, sort of a thing. Like, if you're talking about doing something illegal, and like I said, I'm playing a super moral, the morality card here, but like as a church-goer Christian, and all of a sudden you're finding out that you're doing something illegal, are you going to stop doing it just because you don't want to, are you going to stop? Would you rather not do the bracket, or would you just not pay the money? Because everybody loves free money.
Right. Let me throw this stat at you really quick that just came up with on the spot, which is beautiful. Okay. So there are 319 million people in the United States.
Okay.
$10 billion being bet on March Madness this month. That would mean that every single person in the country, including infant children, so your son, including every single person he's probably got the winner. I should look at his bracket.
More money than me.
Every single person in the country would have to bet $31. I'm not even betting $31.
I'm not playing for money at all.
$10 billion.
I don't think I've ever put money down for anything, honestly, that I've ever been a part of, whether it has been fantasy football or bracket challenge or any of that stuff. Because for me, I personally, I like my money. I want to keep my money.
Yeah, why not?
I don't want to. I mean, and some people are like, oh, just do $1. Like I think I've done that like once, where everybody's like, let's just all do $1 just for fun. Like we were college kids, we were already eating a week's worth of meals on $3 anyway. So $1 in college is like $1,000 to an adult basically. But I don't think I ever have done anything like that on purpose, where everyone's like, yeah, $50 buy. Like I've turned down fantasy leagues or other things where people are like, yeah, like we're doing it. Like 100 people are playing. It's $50 for buying. Like I know people that literally put $100 in to play fantasy football every year, because the pot is then like whatever, a couple
thousands of dollars.
Yeah, a couple $1,000 basically, which of course anybody would love.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, why?
What are your odds?
What are your odds? 1 in 16 or
more
1
people
in
lose than win.
odds. It's true.
Yeah, but that's insane. That's that number, $10 billion. It's a lot of money.
There ought to be a law.
It's a lot of kashish.
Ought to be a law.
A lot of kashish. Ought to be a law. No, I think it's fine. I don't see a problem with it. I just think it's a little excessive.
I agree.
Were you able to get
nothing yet? No, unfortunately.
Okay. All right, we'll try and get Greg on.
Trevor also hitting us with some more breaking news. He said hashtag Tanner's beer is getting warm, now trending in Milwaukee.
Come on. Every day
Compare and contrast, ladies and gentlemen.
Every day with this garbage.
Compare and contrast.
Every day with this garbage.
I feel like I've been talking more than you have, and I've still had more to drink than you have.
That's a lie.
Stop
the cake. Putting words in our fans' mouths.
Remember the cake is a lie. For those of you that played Portal, you'll understand that.
Unbelievable.
So, I mean, with the NCAA, obviously there's a lot of stuff that's going on with it. You need to be careful about what you're doing, of course, and figuring out if you do decide to put money down that you don't make it very public, because if you do, things could certainly go down a very negative track for you. So please be careful with that. And that's why we encourage you to come play our bracket challenge here at Brew Sports, which is free. We don't want people to think that we are trying to scheme you for $100 a shot or something. You can win $100, which is totally legal. If you're playing for free and there is a free thing that you can win, $100, first place, second and third place, as Tanner mentioned earlier, T-shirts as well too. Go do it. Sign up today for free on ESPN, and the link in the comment section below.
I just want to say there are a lot of haters out there.
Why are they hating? Haters going to hate.
I'm a Tanner supporter, but it is true. He's not drinking his beer.
Well, then drink your damn beer.
Unbelievable.
Oh, my God. Some people these days. Some people's kids.
Remember, Baxter, pinky out.
Pinky out.
Pinky out.
Want me to pinky out with you?
No,
I can pinky out with you.
No, I'm done. I'm so over you right now.
Are you 300% done?
I'm just...
What else in the sports world, Tanner?
What the H is going on in sports? I don't know. What's going on out there?
How about Golden State?
Okay, how about Golden State?
How do you feel about slavery?
It's bad.
Good answer,
9/11 was bad.
Good. That has nothing to do with slavery. 9/11?
Yeah, I don't know.
Literally nothing to do.
It's a Family Guy reference.
Quick thing before we get to slavery, because I wanted to let that hang there for a hot moment. David says, think
Hanging
I've done
fruit.
$5 leagues once or twice, only because I knew everyone in the league and was okay with giving them $5 if I lost, which was virtually inevitable. I get that. Aaron also says, I think it's okay if Tanner is slow. I still like him.
Unbelievable. Why is everybody hating on me today? James didn't hate on me on the pick six.
People usually hate on me. So
hey, why don't you tell people where they can find us on social media real quick?
Social media, you can find us on the wonderful world of Twitter, at BrewSportsNet, on Facebook, at BrewSportsNet, and, of course, on Instagram, at BrewSportsNet as well. Hashtag BrewSports. Come follow us. He's at Banner Turk. I am at Baxter.
That's true.
Colburn.
This is all true.
The Colburn, the Colster. Backstar 20 back in the days, what it used to be. Now it's not anymore. So slavery.
Oh, God.
Some people say it's economical. Some people say it's the thing of the future. Most people will yell at you and tell you to get out of town and stop talking about slavery. If you ever, you have, I'm sure you've got inside jokes with your friends that you would not,
I do.
you would never reiterate in public.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to maintain a clean public image.
And that's completely fine. Everybody, yes, you do you. You say you, go boo-boo, or whatever people say, I guess.
It's safe to say that when I go out to the bar, my sailor mouth may come out from time to time.
Sailor mouth. I will admit to that, too. Really, the only time I ever usually swear a little bit is after I've had several drinks, and I'm just out having
Which is fine.
I'm out having a good old time.
It's,
happens.
much like Ezekiel Elliott ripping a girl's shirt off on a
He
St.
didn't rip
Patty's
it
Day
off.
float.
I mean, let's be honest. The shirt itself was barely there anyway, so he probably could have looked at it and it would have gone whoosh.
Yeah.
Topic for another day if you haven't already heard about that. Go check it out. Boop. Anyway, slavery. So if you haven't heard, Andre Iguodala is getting fined $10,000 for his comments, his "we do what master says" comments after a game when he was asked why himself, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson were all sat against the Spurs a couple of days ago, and he said, "We do what master says," referencing to what Steve Kerr, the head coach, says.
Now, here's the deal. First of all,
what's the deal?
These small fines mean nothing.
$10,000.
All it is
pocket change.
It's all it is a PR move. If you really want to find somebody, you gotta hit them. You gotta hit them where it hurts because they're making millions of dollars. I don't care. $10,000 is pocket change. But here's where the debate comes into play. I'm just gonna rule it out there. He shouldn't have said it. What he said was, I mean, you don't say that kind of thing in the media. That's totally understandable. However, Steve Kerr came out and said that I understand what happens in the locker room should stay in the locker room, and what you say in front of the media, you need to be essentially conscious of what you say.
Usually,
and that's understandable. You have to respect your public image. Now, what that also means to me is Steve Kerr understands that what he said is probably a joke. It's an inside joke.
You'd like to hope so, because I can't say that I have too many racial jokes with any of my friends.
I don't think Steve Kerr's walking around the locker room pretending to be a slave owner.
He's not bringing a whip to practice, usually.
But
that'd be another conversation if he was.
I mean, I played sports in high school. I didn't play in college, but I always had fun with my coaches, or I'd call them certain names or whatever, or just made a joke out of practice or something. Yeah. That's why I was never good at any sports. I suppose.
Burke, yeah, animal, you don't even know.
I got my volleyball coach making me do diving suicides on the line, every left and right, the whole team's doing it. I'm just I love these. Thank you, coach.
So much fun.
Thank you, coach. May I have another? Everyone's it's funny. It's funny,
isn't it?
Now, this in context, though, not funny.
Very much not.
Not funny. What they do in the locker room, what happens in the locker room stays in the locker room. That's
usually.
Fine.
Yeah, that's why we say and Aaron says, too, he says, he said something along the lines, I lost it now. I forget what Aaron said, but Aaron was saying something
about me being slow.
Well, that too, but Corey said, comments like this shouldn't be made, basically, or, people make dumb comments all the time. Well, yeah, they make dumb comments, but don't make it in a public setting that is going to ultimately tarnish your image and tarnish the organization. I mean, how many people already didn't like Golden State as a whole? Now you've given them even more of a reason to hate you, Golden State. So because one of your players can't keep their damn mouth shut, is there now the sole reason of why people are going to hate your organization even more?
Figure it out.
You crossed a line.
Sorry. Anyways, what else is going on? I'm done. I don't want to talk about slavery anymore.
You want to talk about slavery anymore?
No.
Here's a big deal. Chicago Bears have made a move.
Oh, great.
They have signed...
Tell me it's Jay Cutler.
Connor Barth to a one-year contract. The kicker, Connor Barth.
What the hell is going on in Chicago? I
love it.
They must have been deep into Stephen Hauschka. They thought they were going to get Stephen Hauschka.
They must have thought so, yeah.
Connor Barth.
Connor Barth.
Oh, my God.
Kicking it up down in the Chi-Town.
Just give the division to Seattle.
Does it make any sense?
Just let Seattle just take everything.
Why? No, Seattle's terrible. Come on, Tanner. You're better than that.
Oh, my God.
David is saying that Tanner's going all Michael Strip on the mic.
What?
Or Stippy? S-T-I-P-E? Stippy? Stipey?
Michael
Stipe?
David, come on. I
need dashes.
David, you're drunk. Put the beer down.
Seriously. Deer down, back in your bed.
Oh, my gosh.
As Baxter says, people who can't keep their damn mouth shut on here. Yes, you're absolutely right. But I'm not talking about slavery, though. If I were saying that Tanner needs to get back to the fields where he rightfully belongs, like that is a racist comment if he were a man of African-American descent. But because he is a strong, strapping white boy, he should go back to the factories or the silver spoon districts of whence he came, because that's what white people do.
So,
Supposedly,
real quick, so we'll get back into the breaking news in the NFL in a second here, but I just want to say for the people watching, of course, like, share, comments.
Absolutely.
Your comments drive the discussion, or as I like to say, the derailed freight train that this show is, which is totally fine.
James says, "Go Pack, go!
Go Pack, go!
Go Pack, go, James!
Go Pack, go! That's right.
Appreciate you, James.
Yeah. So of course, like, share. What am I trying to say?
You want to talk about Lonzo Ball? Is what you want to talk about?
I do.
And LaVar Ball. So transition over there to talk about shoe deals.
All right.
I'm going to save you there and shift you over there.
So we're going to move into Lonzo Ball right away. Okay.
Tanner's over here. I'm just like, back over here.
Okay. We're going to back over here. This is why I can only lead host one show a week.
LaVar Ball, what is he doing? Because apparently the world talking about him and apparently his son doing decent enough at UCLA is not enough.
Okay.
For the man that thinks he could take on MJ in a one-on-one and would school MJ.
I have some quotes.
Hit me.
Okay, so these quotes are taken directly off of The Ringer, which is a website.
Oh, good.
They quote this as the LaVar Ball ridiculousness scale. So they have quotes from LaVar Ball, and then they rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 about how ridiculous it is. I didn't even know who Lonzo Ball was. Or LaVar Ball, for that
I had never heard of him. I heard of the dad
until his
before I
dad
heard of
came
him.
out, which, like you said, because
he's a decent player, but he's not an elite player.
It's a brilliant marketing scheme for
It
his
is.
son, but it's
Well
also
done.
like I referred to LaVar Ball yesterday as being the overenthusiastic dad at a little league game. It's like telling his son to shoot. Or
Shoot the
like
ball!
hit the ball, or keep your eye
Found
on
it
the
first.
ball.
Pick him off.
Yeah, or like yelling at the umps, whatever.
Offsides,
So
ref.
this is LaVar Ball. Let me read a couple quotes, and I will let you give me a scale on 1 to 10 about how ridiculous it is, and I'll tell you what the Ringer
Sounds good.
gave it.
Hit me.
Back in my heyday, I would kill Michael Jordan one-on-one. On a scale of 1 to 10, how did the Ringer rate this ridiculous quote?
14.
It's an 8 out of 10. That was very close.
An
but yes,
8 out
that
of a
is
10? Come
that should be a
on.
10 out of 10 right
Why
there.
are you saying
It's
that
Michael
you should
Jordan.
take Michael Jordan? Shut your mouth. Come on, man.
And the Ringer says, LaVar Ball thinks he could beat Michael Jordan in basketball. This is patently false.
Patently false.
I don't know.
I don't know
what they wrote.
patently means.
I don't know. I'm not a
Good for them.
scientist. Okay, so here's another one. Even if you don't want to hear me, you're going to hear me. Ridiculousness rating 1 to 10.
You said this is LaVar Ball, not Donald Trump?
Yeah, I know. It's pretty ridiculous. I think this is
I
a
would
little
love
low.
to see those guys debate about some random thing.
Yeah.
Trump versus LaVar Ball.
So 2
Who
out of
wins?
10.
Comment below.
2 out of 10.
2 out of 10. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say
Yeah.
I wasn't that moved by
This
it
is
personally.
the segment where we rate ridiculous LaVar Ball quotes out of 10. Here we go. Okay, this is good. $1 billion. It has to be there. That's our number, $1 billion. Straight out of the gate. And you don't even have to give it to me all up front. Give us $100 million over 10 years. You know what? Maybe it is Donald Trump. Maybe
It sounds like it. Look, my boys, they're fantastic.
Let me just
They're
tell
the-
you.
they're the best
Can I read
players.
this? Can I read this in Donald Trump's
Please.
voice?
See?
$1 billion. It has to be there. That's our number, $1 billion. Straight out of the gate. And you don't even have to give it to me all up front. Give us $100 million over 10 years. That's just fine.
It sounds like him. It does. 100%. Like
I don't
I'm
understand.
almost positive.
I don't understand.
Like-
Ridiculousness rating from 1 to 10.
10.
It's got to be a 10.
It has
It's
to
a 10
be.
out of 10.
Yeah.
The Ringer says it's a 10 out of 10.
Dang.
I can't believe this quote.
Wow, let's
Who is
go.
this guy? Who the hell is this guy?
Are there any other comments?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's
Give me another Donald Trump voice one.
Okay. Okay, here we go. This is another one. On the website, bigballerbrand.com, the family sells T-shirts for as much as $60, hoodies for as much as $70, and hats for as much as $100. Ridiculousness, 1 out of 10.
It wasn't as Donald Trumpy as I was hoping.
Whatever.
I was waiting for them to be like, they're the best T-shirts.
They're the best T-shirts.
They're fantastic.
Trust me, I would know. I've worn all of the T-shirts. These are the best, and they're $100.
Ivanka made them.
Ivanka made them. She's the first lady.
That's Melania, but close enough.
Whatever.
Ivanka's his daughter. That's a little weird.
Well, I'm just saying, like, maybe he'll screw it up. Maybe that's what he thinks. Ridiculousness, 1 out of 10.
I don't know. 7?
It's a 10.
Okay.
This isn't as ridiculous as the last one, though.
Okay.
Can I read that one more time?
Please.
$1 billion. It has to be there. That's our number. $1 billion, straight out of the gate. And if you don't even have to give it to me all up front. I'll take $100 million over 10 years. Why not? Ridiculousness, a 10 out of 10. The Ringer.
The Ringer. They're fantastic.
They're fantastic.
They love me.
They love me over there at the Ringer.
I know everybody. Great people.
I know Mr. Ringer himself.
People are loving your impressions.
He makes all my ringtones.
Trevor says Tanner for president. Ian says Tanner for MVP. Tom says hashtag Tanner Trump. I like it. I think we've found your second calling. That's the scale.
I can do impressions.
That's a better thing, I feel like, to grade LaVar Ball at, is if you can say it in a Trump voice and it still sounds ridiculous, you know you've gone too far, LaVar Ball. You have. I can't. I can't with LaVar.
Okay.
And I love the diversity with his names. Lorenzo, LaMelo,
Lonzo,
Lavelle. I don't know. I don't know. Strange and cruel things.
Okay, I got
Truly. Hit me. What else do you got?
I have one more. I'm just gonna read these three in sequence with each other. Lonzo and LiAngelo each drive $100,000 BMWs. To make me cry, you've got to hit me with a 2x4. I told them I'll wear your colors, but it ain't gonna say UCLA.
Yeah, I believe you. 100%. 100% Donald Trump. Like, you can't.
All quotes by LaVar Ball. What the hell is going on with the Ball family? Do the Suns know about this? They have to now, right?
I hope so, but I feel like, and I asked this question to Jamie this morning too on the Morning Brew. I said, would you, if this was your dad?
My dad would never.
I know, and
that's
what she was saying too. She's like, my dad would never do this. She's like, I would kill my dad. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I want my parents tampering with my life like this.
Oh my god!
Especially when I am a grown up. I understand my brothers being younger than me, but come on,
$1 billion. That's 1/10 of how much money is going to be gambled on the NCAA tournament.
That's what you should have gone with. Be like $10 billion.
$10 billion.
That's what I want.
I'll take it all. Let me just do a little prologue to who LaVar Ball is.
Please, because I really am wondering who the hell this guy is and why we care.
He played one season of college basketball at Washington State, so probably a walk-on. 1987 to 1988, Washington State. LaVar. I got to make sure I'm saying the right Ball name because they're all the same.
LaVar is what you care about.
So LaVar played one season, 87 to 88, Washington State. His points per game average?
2.2.
2.2 points. So LaVar's got a lot of ground to speak on.
So he could take on MJ.
He could take on MJ.
I think that's prime.
He could take on MJ. Why not? Conor McGregor's fighting Floyd Mayweather.
So I think we should bring back a exclusive 1v1 LaVar versus MJ. MJ could still school virtually anybody in a one-on-one.
Let's just have a 5-person Royal Rumble between LaVar Ball, Floyd Mayweather,
sure,
Conor McGregor,
sure,
Michael Jordan,
okay,
and Donald Trump.
Yeah, I think everybody wins. I think everybody gets their money's worth.
Well, they don't. I think Floyd Mayweather wins, but
Floyd Mayweather will be the last.
Conor McGregor.
If it's a straight up boxer,
maybe that's how he has to win has to get $1 billion.
I could see that.
He honestly thinks he's going to get $1 billion for that.
No, stop.
I'm going to hate his son now because of his comments.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You're going to hear his son, and if your son. If Buffalo actually was cool enough to have a pro basketball team, if that guy got drafted to Buffalo,
sir,
if Buffalo
they did
decided,
at one point,
yeah, did.
You know a little guy named
did.
Bob McAdoo? Yeah, Hall of Famer.
Who? If Buffalo decided to go out and draft Lonzo Zozo Ball.
It's like every time I go home and you get my brothers and I in the same household with my mom and my dad.
Yeah.
I'm always called TJ, Trevor, Tanner. Which one are you?
Yeah.
25 years old. of this?
Well, I have all three of my brothers, Baxter, Seth, Antonio, all have, different names. Don't start the same, don't sound the same. But my mom, for the life of her, cannot get our names right. I have 12 and 18 years on my brothers.
Oh, my
You
gosh.
can tell the difference between the Colburn brothers.
I know.
But apparently Mother Dearest cannot.
It's insane. Trevor says, fun fact, Tanner was a president once. He can do it again. Hashtag 2020 ticket. And he's not wrong. President, class of 2010. No regrets.
Hashtag no regrets. What was your campaign? What was your
Do you really want to know?
What was your
Do you really
platform
wanna
that
know?
you ran
My
on?
dad, I gotta make sure. Let me just see if my dad's still watching because I stole it from him. He's not, but he'll need to
He's
go
always
back.
watching.
He probably is. He's probably still watching. I stole this from my dad because my dad once attempted to run for class president or something. My campaign was, "Don't be a jerk. Vote for Burke." Where's the cricket sound effects?
You won?
4 years in a row. There was no cap on how many times I could win.
Politics. Don't be a jerk. Vote for Burke.
Every year, that was my slogan.
Oh my god.
You know, at one point, I don't know. I can't
Who
believe
ran against you? Did anybody have any catchier
There was,
slogans?
yeah, there was one. Okay, there was 1 year where nobody ran against me.
Oh well, that
There was
doesn't
1
count,
year, but that's still won. It's 4 years in a row.
I guess.
But I do have to say, I don't know. It's amazing that this came up because I was thinking about it on the ride over
Why
here
are
this
you
morning.
that amazed that this came up?
I thought about it. I was like, that'd be fun to talk about on the show someday if it's relevant. And for some reason, it became relevant today.
Everything's relevant on halftime.
I don't know how I didn't realize I wanted to get into broadcasting until late in my career, but I'm 25 years old, not late in my career. It's still very early, but late in my collegiate career. But when I was in high school, I loved getting on the announcements. I was that guy. I wasn't like the PA guy, but like I was in broadcast
Your
club. I
attention,
played the
please.
music in the lunchroom. But because I was class president, I had the ability to do announcements every now and then when it pertained to the school or the class. So
Makes
one day, and I will have to tag this teacher in the video because he told me to do it, and I hope he remembers this. But he told me to do it. He goes, I was sitting in class. It was a first period class, and he goes, it'd be really great if someone just went on the announcements and just did the announcements like an airplane pilot. And I was like, Giovanetio, it sounds like a challenge.
Game on.
I always push the line with the principal.
You have to.
He told
You
me.
seem like you'd be that kid.
He told me before graduation. He said if I did anything funny or if I was a part of any senior prank, I wouldn't walk and I wouldn't give a speech at graduation.
A speech?
So,
Were you a
anytime-
valedictorian or something? Or?
No, I was class president.
Oh, our class presidents
Didn't really mean anything, but I did it.
Huh.
That was cool. But yeah, so one day I had the ability to give the speech or the announcements in the morning. I went up and I was like, good morning, Frontier High School. This is your captain speaking. It's going to be a pretty steady day today. We'll move in the lunch periods. You got tacos going in today. Should be a pretty solid lunch. You're going to want to get in the line early. The Valentine's Day dance is on Friday. Don't forget to get your tickets. Have a great day. Boo. I walked straight up to his classroom. He was giving a class. I walked by. The door was open. I just looked at him and nodded. I go, and I walked right by.
Little did he know how much he was influencing the
biggest
wide
smile
world.
on his face.
I bet that's the greatest thing because teachers purposely put things like that in their students' heads because they know that they would get fired if they did that.
Yeah. I can't get fired.
I can't go to detention, but you could go to detention if you do something like that.
Funny story. I once got written up for throwing a goldfish cracker
Oh my god!
in lunch. This guy just wrote me up. I walked into the
Live a little, man.
I walked into the assistant principal's office and she looked at me and she goes, "Okay, so here's the deal. You got written up for throwing a goldfish cracker." And I go,
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I had never gotten detention. And she goes, "You gonna do it again?" I'm like, "No."
I threw a goldfish cracker.
She's like, "Okay, good talk." Good talk. I just left.
I never got detention for being like rude or whatever, but I got detention for being late to school, like twice.
I was late like every day.
Well, I'm not. Some things don't surprise me.
This is why I didn't do well in calculus.
Some more breaking news for us here. The Packers have signed ex-Jaguars cornerback Devon House or former Packers, then Jaguars, then now Packers again, cornerback Devon House.
We have a couple minutes left. Can we get back to the breaking news?
Well, we should probably
I don't want to. This is so much fun.
I know. Well,
we have a start, sit, cut to do.
We do. And people have been commenting up a frickin' storm here, which is great.
Let's do that then.
We do care about you.
Okay.
But sometimes when Tanner decides to go all Captain Airplane here on us, sometimes it's hard for us to keep up with you guys.
Yeah, that's true.
Trevor says, breaking news, Baxter hates Buffalo.
I just snorted.
Cute.
Yeah.
My wife snorts when she laughs really hard.
Piggy over here.
Tanner for president, Tanner for MVP. Everybody loves Tanner.
Blah, 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 blah.
Tanner.
Marsha.
Ha, 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 ha. Tanner, Marsha, Tanner. La Marsha.
Anyways.
Let there be celebrating. House is back in the fold.
The train's back on the tracks.
Choo-choo. It never was on the tracks. Let's be honest.
Let's be honest.
All right, start, sit, cut. The way this works is we come up with 3 different things about the sports world, and you have to start one, sit one, cut one. Our 3 today are championship teams that we think will or will not repeat. We're starting, sitting, cutting Villanova, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the New England Patriots. So, who do we realistically think is going to win a championship next? Starting one, sitting one, cutting one. No.
Should we put
I like my job.
Bitcoin on it?
Bitcoin?
Like if it actually happens, like winner
Nobody
gets to 5
believes
Bitcoin?
in Bitcoin.
I did once.
Yeah, that's why.
All right. Start, sit, cut. Do you want me to go first?
Always.
All right. Why not? Okay. Well, here's the deal.
And you have to do it realistically. You can't do it with your own spite. P.S.
Repeats are really hard.
P.S. Your father.
NCAA.
P.S. Your father just told me that I'm his favorite.
I understand. Baxter Burke.
It's got a good ring to it. Can I be made an honorary
It's
Burke?
really hard to repeat in the NCAA tournament because there's so many teams.
True.
So I'm going to have to cut Villanova.
Ooh, adios.
I honestly think that they will be the first 1 seed to go down.
Wow.
So I will also say that. So cut Villanova. Cleveland and New England, 2 of my favorite cities. 2 of my favorite teams, the Cavaliers and the Patriots.
Everybody loves them. LeBron is the Tom Brady. Tom Brady's the LeBron.
Jeez. I'm going to sit Cleveland. It hurts me to do this.
Really?
But don't worry, they're in good company. They're in good company. You want to know who's sitting on the bench for them?
Who's sitting on the bench?
The Chicago Cubs.
The Chicago Cubs. Well, we didn't talk about the Cubs, though.
But they're sitting on the bench.
Okay, good.
They're just hanging out. They were already there.
Like,
there's no way the Cubs were going to repeat. So I thought about there's no way bringing that up. So
no, that's fine.
New England probably has the best chance to win another Super Bowl, unfortunately.
Interesting. I'm
going to get a lot of
comments.
backlash about that.
Aaron says, cut the Patriots, start Villanova, or sit Villanova, start the Cavs.
James says, cut Nova, sit the Pats, start the Cavs. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
James has the exact one that I've got, actually. I'm going to cut Villanova. I'm going to sit the Patriots. I'm going to start the Cavs. Despite some of their injuries, when you have LeBron James on your team, you win games.
I should have went that route because I'm a big advocate for the fact that if you're good in basketball, you're just good in basketball. There's no saying against it.
How can you argue against it? Yeah, really.
So, that's why we are afforded the opportunity to see the same 2 teams fight off each other in the finals every year.
Lame.
Golden State, Cleveland, every year.
Or the Spurs.
Whatever.
Boring basketball.
Whatever. Trevor says, start Cavs, sit Nova, cut Pats from Sports Forever. I second that motion as class president 2010. No regrets.
We have not.
Of Frontier High School. I here now declare the Pats are cut from sports forever.
I think if you cut the Patriots out of the NFL, it's probably the worst thing that you could do from a PR move, personally.
That'd be great, though. It'd be so great.
It would.
That'd be so great.
You would hurt the NFL
I would not.
so much. If the NFL
it wouldn't hurt me.
If the NFL tomorrow was like, you know what, Patriots, you're out of here. Terrible idea. Terrible move. Not going to happen. Raj.
Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time.
He supports me. I love Tom Brady. I subscribe to his purple carriage.
Oh, my God. Tom Brady. If Tom Brady and Bill Belichick could play and coach every sports team in Boston, they'd never lose a championship. But you know why they don't do that?
Why not?
It's not fair.
It's not fair. It's not fair to the Boston
Tom
market.
Brady, the GOAT.
Love GOAT.
The GOAT.
Love Tom. All right, Tanner. Give us your best Boston accent so people know where the heck to find us on social media as we close this baby
No,
out.
I can't do it.
Why not?
I can't do it.
Give us your Buffalo accent.
All right, here's the deal. You can, obviously, we love having you comment and share. It's always great to have as many comments as possible.
It's a great time.
That's what makes this show so much fun. You can find us on our website, www.brewsportsnet.com. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at BrewSportsNet. So be sure to go ahead and follow, and hashtag our Brew Sports. You can find me at Banner Turk on everything. Don't forget our videos and audio streams are on YouTube and iTunes. So if you're ever going throughout the day and you're like, oh, crap, I missed the Baxter Tanner halftime show again, you can go on later in the evening or whenever and find the podcast version of this show on iTunes. So,
boom, bam. He's at Banner Turk.
Bam.
I'm at Baxter Colburn. We'll see you guys back here again tomorrow on halftime. Coming up after this, it is happy hour at 4 p.m. Central, 5 Eastern with myself and Tika Griesbach. Don't miss it. We'll close out the day on a snowy Tuesday here in the great state of Wisconsin. We'll see you guys all tomorrow. Try not to freak out too much about free agency because, as we all know, the Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl anyway, so don't even bother worrying about it.
Pinky out.
Have a good rest of your day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.